This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
To the McClarty Daniel Hotline, and time to talk with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio, hosting 6 to 9 WNSR Monday through Friday, and the king of college football talk. Bill, we have had a nice amount of snow, freezing temperatures come through Arkansas in the last 3 days. What's it like in your neck of the woods near Nashville?
About the same. I don't know if we got the same accumulation, but we're up around 6 inches on average, and I haven't been to work yet this week. How about that?
Yikes. Just leaves a lot more time for grilling. Does the grill still work, though, in freezing temperatures? Would you even venture outside for that purpose at all?
Oh, I'd wade into the depths of hell to smoke a brisket. Oh, God, yes. Oh, yeah. No worries, guys.
Hey, Bill, I guess the biggest news, in my opinion, it's the number one job in college football, the Alabama and Crimson Tide. I know there's a lot of good jobs out there. Did they get it right?
I think they did. A 49-year-old coach who's very accomplished. He's an offensive whiz kid, and not that 49-year-old's a kid, but he's young, and it looks like his coordinators are going to be good hires. Now they're getting hit right now. Think about this, guys. They're the only school basically out there right now where their players are all in the portal or available to jump in the portal because of the 30-day rule. And so everybody in America is poaching them. Now it is Alabama. We don't need to hold a pity party, but they're losing some names, and their best player, Caleb Downs, who might be the best defensive player in America, a true freshman, by the way, out of Georgia, is wobbly right now, and Georgia's trying to get him. So they're taking some incoming fire right now as well.
It's wild to think about 2 of the 4 teams in the college football playoff are going through this right now. But, I mean, I don't know if there's a way to fix that because you have the rule. The rule is in place for a reason. Coach leaves, you can transfer. That makes perfect sense. It's just there are only 2 teams in America that are dealing with this right now, and the reason they're dealing with it is because they were incredibly successful this year. They had great head coaches. One of them says it's time to end his career, and the other guy's taking his job. There is no fix to that, is there?
Well, and if there's some kind of Michigan announcement here in a day or 2 or 3, what have you, there you go for them. Right? Now, they're losing a ton of players to the draft and to graduation and eligibility and all that. I mean, they're losing a ton. I don't know what they'll have left to pluck like an Alabama. Not close, but still, no, good point. Very good point.
I don't know that Milroe, has he entered the portal, or what's he going to do? Because I don't see him as the type of quarterback that you, when you look at a Washington offense, and I'm not saying he's not a talented kid. I think Milroe's a very talented kid, but it's a specific type of offense he has to run. Is Milroe on this roster when Alabama kicks off next year?
I would assume the plan is, right now it's nothing but love, right? Meetings, love you, want you to stay. Get into the spring when he starts sifting through those quarterbacks, and you have what they think is their best quarterback is Dylan Lonergan, the true freshman from this last year. They think he's the most gifted. And if a move starts being made in the spring, I wouldn't be surprised to see Milroe leave.
I forget there's
but I think he's gonna.
Yeah, I forget there's another portal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's got another 15 days you'll have in April. And they have Dylan Lonergan. They've got Julian Sayin, who's a 5-star out of California, who's in this class. And they did lose Eli Holstein, the kid from Louisiana, who now is transferred up to Pitt. But they've got they've got a 4-man quarterback room right now. And they'll have to sift through that, and that's the right coach to do it.
That's all reasons why Will Rogers wouldn't transfer there, right? I mean, he was the assumed starter at Washington. Now DeBoer leaves. He's into the portal. It's too simplistic to think he's going to follow the coach to Alabama. And you look at what you just talked about. I mean, there's already an immense amount of competition there. I've read where some think that he would be a great fit at Auburn, where I think he could probably just step right into the role and be the quarterback. What do you think?
Well, he never obviously has been coached by Kalen DeBoer, but you're right. That's where he was going. Immediately jumped in the portal. I mean, he could go to Alabama. I don't think he will, but here's the problem. If you're Alabama, you bring him in there, you just cleaned out your quarterback room. So good luck there.
It's wild. You know, and I think about, speaking of Auburn, I've seen some, it's probably Auburn fans hoping it, they're calling DeBoer Husky Harsin. And I think they're pointing to the part of the country that he's from. And it's, again, too simplistic to think about it, that somebody that's never been in the South before, spent much time in the South, or coached in the South, or recruited heavily there, can't do those things there. I just think it's a matter of personality. And Harsin was just, I think, awkward. There's nothing about Kalen DeBoer that comes across as awkward. So it's not where you're from, it's who you are. And DeBoer is just a winner. It just makes too much sense.
I agree. I think it was a good hire. 3 years, maybe we're sitting here talking about who the next guy is, but I would not have been opposed if I would have been involved in that search. And I guess the main guy involved in the search is Jimmy Sexton. But if I'm Greg Burns sitting there, then that's got to be right at the top. I think I told you guys, Saban wanted Sark. Sark was his guy, and that wherever he was in the pecking order, that did not work out. I don't think there was much flirtation with Lane Kiffin just because of the way things ended. And I do think they made it pass at Dan Lanning and couldn't get him, probably.
Yeah. Why did Saban leave? Is it age? Is it I've accomplished everything I can accomplish? Is it the turn that college football has taken and that now you're entering a completely new era of college football? You know, what do you think his decision-making was about?
I think going into the season, he had 5 years left in him at 71, 72. And this season, with just this vigilante atmosphere we now live in college football, the season in and of itself, the oddity, which was the beginning couple of first 3 games for Alabama, it broke him. I think it literally taking the greatest ever who loves 17-hour days, and it broke him.
Bill, was Dabo ever looked at with having that connection? And do you think Clemson, are they back in the playoff 12 next year? Is this kind of like just a one-year lapse with Clemson?
I don't think he was ever in it. I do know when I've talked to assistant coaches in the past, and I'm talking about 3-4 years ago, that are still involved, still there at Clemson, they would always tell me, that's not the family's home. That might be Dabo's home, but the kids, the kids are older now and playing and moving on, but it's not like Tuscaloosa or Birmingham is their destination. Clemson is home now, and I don't think anything's going on there. Could they be a top 12 team? Yes, but you're not going to get 2 ACC teams in there, I don't think, in a 12-team playoff, because the numbers are going to be heavily involved with the SEC and the Big Ten. So that means Florida State's got to be down, or somebody's got to be down. Louisville's having an incredible transfer portal haul. You're going to have to deal with them. And got to remember, guys, a couple of days ago, Cam Ward said, I'm not turning pro, I'm going to Miami. That's also a problem.
Yeah, and then another team I look at is Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins 10 games, they'll be in the playoff 12 surely.
100%.
10-2 gets them in there. Who is their Sam Hartman was their guy who transferred in? Or is Notre Dame gonna have a chance to win 10 games next year?
They think they're better. Riley Leonard from Duke is their quarterback.
Okay.
Yep. This is now again, guys. I know what your audience is going to say after I say what I'm about to say. They're going to say, we hear this every year, Bill. This has a chance to be Notre Dame's best team in quite some time.
But the wild thing is, even Notre Dame's best team in a long time, they go undefeated. They're number 1 in the college football playoff poll. They don't get a bye.
Oh, they don't get a bye?
They can't get a bye. It's impossible. You got to be a conference champion. They're a conference of 1. And that was not a thing. I guess maybe people thought that'd be a thing that would chase him into a conference. Nope. Didn't happen.
No, Jack Swarbrick was in the original meeting to move things to 12. He was one of the chosen ones, and he agreed to it from the very beginning. Did not fight it. Said, no, we cannot be a top seed with a bye. So if they go to 5-7, I don't know if that's been approved, but it is going to be. Then they could be a 6 seed, and if they stay with 6-6, then they could be a 7 seed so at tops.
Are you ready for this new era of college football, where it is not just because of the 12-team playoff, it's the death of a league? Pac-12 will never be rebuilt in any semblance of what it used to be. And I wonder, too, like, how long does this new era of college football last? Because this last era lasted about, 11 years or so? And there's a sense like this era of college football could last even a shorter amount of time before we get some kind of a super league, which it does feel like that's the direction the industry is going. So how long do you give this new or next era of college football to last?
Well, it's not going to kill off the ACC, but it's going to diminish the ACC. There'll be more of a G5 type league. And they'll stay at 12 for probably 5 to 10 years. Now, we don't even know the length of the contract. This first contract is 12 years. We're in year 11 coming up. And they've already made a move from 4 to 12. They won't make it to the end of that contract if it's 10 years without a change. Because, again, guys, I said this back in 2013 when they announced we're going to start playoff. The only 2 questions remain are how much more money and how many more teams. That's the only debate you've got. And we're going to redo the new contract's coming up, and they're talking about that right now. It's going to be in the billions. And there's going to be squawking about the 13th, 14th team that probably should have gotten in, and they'll widen it, guys, in about 5 to 8 years.
Well, it does feel like you're still on the precipice of something new on the top of something that's completely new as well. Bill, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Stay warm, and good luck with the brisket smoking in freezing temperatures, okay?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, you can appreciate a guy that's not able to get to work, but he's definitely going to brave those temperatures to smoke some brisket.
Yeah, that Notre Dame thing is a little tricky, but I think it benefits this 12-team playoff deal. Like you said, if Notre Dame wins 10 games, 10-2, they're in the playoff.
Better get that heated field ready at Notre Dame Stadium. I don't know if
they'd have to go on the road, wouldn't they? If they're not a top 4 seed, they might host the first playoff.
They can host the
game.
first round.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, Mid-December, touchdown Jesus, snow on the field in South Bend.
Rudy on the projection screen.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.